Looking for the ultimate hangout spot in Spearfish? The Clubhouse of Spearfish has it all. State-of-the-art golf simulators, epic sports action, and a full bar with delicious food. Test your swing on their TrackMan simulators, kick field goals, or even take on aliens. After the game, grab a bite and catch all the live sports at their bar. Whether you want to practice, play, or just relax, the Golf Club at Spearfish is your go-to entertainment hub. All right, hey guys, thanks for joining us for Odrix Sports here again. Today we've got Shelbie Richards, the head girls volleyball coach at Spearfish High School. Miss Richards, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So coming off a year, 23-10 last year, a lot going on in terms of team camaraderie. Really had that winning streak in the middle of the season that really seemed to propel everything. Yep. What's kind of the feeling like with this week of practice as well as the outlook and everything?
We have a lot of returners, which is super exciting. And our outlook is, the same end goal that we had in getting that state tournament. But we talked a lot just in the last few days that we have set a really high tone for ourselves and expectations. So that's where we have to start and then grow from there. Mm-hmm. Looking at last year, it was a lot of fun. I think we all had a blast, and it just didn't go our way at the end. And looking back at that Aberdeen game, it's something we have to make normal. We have to get ourselves in those pressure situations of being at home, the crowd. There's a lot of learning to come out of that game, so we're definitely going to keep reflecting on it. But this season's going to be very fun for everybody, even like people that are watching. It's just making sure that we hone that in and don't get above ourselves. We have to continue to show up and win the things. So overall, the last few days of practice, 3, I guess, it's been really fun, and the pace in the gym is really high.
Yeah, absolutely. I know another thing that is going to be really interesting. You talk about being comfortable in those weird, I don't want to say weird, but those situations you've never been in before. Mm-hmm. When you talk about playing for us to the state tournament, you talk about those big time moments. How is that from a culture perspective? How do you get the team ready for something like that?
You had to experience it first. And that, you can prepare them, you can talk about it, but we all know you have to be in that moment. And now that we've been in that moment, it's pretty easy to, reflect back on. But you just kind of want to, make the chaos in practice and the loud and just, throw them off, because our program, we don't like gray area. Mm-hmm. We want black and white. And volleyball is gray. So we just kind of have to implement ourselves getting them uncomfortable as much as we can in the gym in those situations. But I think we have propelled ourselves to get better in those now that we've been there. We've been in that situation. The crowd was amazing. So it's just, we have to remember that feeling and strive to do that every year.
Absolutely. And we had talked about a little bit ad nauseum here. We talked about the loss of Kirk as well as Yackley from last year. What are you kind of looking, or who are you kind of looking to step up and fill those roles?
That's really a tough question because we have 10 seniors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have 10 seniors, which is awesome because they're all around athletes. But after next year, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We that's a big class to graduate that you don't see a lot in volleyball. But with Avery, Kirk, and Yackley was a libero, so we have that position open. And right now, I can't answer that specifically. Yeah. But there's 2 different kids, Mia Dirtle, and then Faith kind of played that role this summer just because Mia was coming off of a shoulder surgery. Mm-hmm. And then Avery Kirk was an all-around kid. She played outside, and then she had 2 in the middle, and she played in the back row for us. So that can go one of 2 ways. You can fill it the exact same way, or we can do a true outside or a middle or right or all the way around. And this is where we pride ourselves in the Spartan program that we develop all-around athletes, which is great until you're trying to make a decision on who the best one is out there sometimes. Yeah. So, usually you can look at somebody like, oh, yeah, that's definitely the outside hitter, where we have kids that can go outside, middle, all the way around. And so it's truly going to be what is the gel on the team and getting them exactly what we need to do to be successful. So that's just going to be the biggest challenge, I think, is who's going to play that role consistently for us.
How long into a season do you see it, and from your past experience, whether it be playing or coaching, how long do you see it taking for a team to kind of get that gel together?
It kind of depends on the kids. These guys have been playing together for a while, so I don't foresee it taking that long. The biggest thing is we start our season in Huron. So we're seeing Del Rapids right away, which they were at the state tournament. They did great things. So we see Del Rapids, Brookings, Watertown, and Huron. So we kind of get it together there because
Really
those are
quickly.
big wins for us.
Yep.
But last year it was like the Gillette tournament that kind of settled in for us, and that's when we went on that winning streak.
Yep.
So it's just kind of the feel and how things are going, and it might be something where it's not going to be consistent all the time, but
Yeah.
usually it's within like the first 2 weeks. But that's not to say stuff changes, as you know,
Yeah,
down
absolutely.
the line, just to see like how people are playing, and some people make huge progression during a season. So,
Yep.
but we kind of have to have it ready to somewhat rock and roll the first weekend.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely. And like when you talk about kicking a season off against a team like Del Rapids and some of these different teams, I mean, at the state tournament, like there's two parts to that. I feel like it can be good from a getting your feet wet type of thing, but then also there's that mindset of like, okay, if this is one of the best teams we're going to face all year long, if we're not far off, what's that do from a mindset perspective?
This group really wants to prove themselves. They want to say, yeah, we're from West River, we're Spearfish, but we can compete with you guys.
Yep.
So the mindset this year is I don't think they worry about it, and they want to go out and take those wins. And if we go out and we drop the first one to Del Rapids, this is a team culturally we've changed where we're not defeated and layover and just it is what it is. So we just continue to work hard, and we know those are the state caliber teams. So where are we? What do we have to work on? Where are we going from there? And I think we can definitely snag some wins there if we stay above, like if something doesn't go our way, we still have an opportunity. We play 4 in a day. That's a lot of volleyball.
Yep.
But this group they have pretty high standards for themselves. So I don't think it's going to be one of those that you kind of like struggle to get out of the hole.
Yep.
It's just going to be a learning experience, hopefully, and then we get better from there.
Gotcha. Schematically, I feel like there's some things. I know you also talked about all of your players being able to fill many different holes, being all around athletes. That's awesome. I think that's really good when you have to kind of shift around players. But like when you talk about fielding the best team, and you look at teams like Aberdeen Central. I mean, it was 3-0 last year. Do you take a look at that game, and do you think it's a personnel thing, or is it a mindset thing? Have you still been watching the game? Is that in your mind, or is it just kind of in the past?
No, it's there. It's there. It was a combination.
Yeah.
I think it was a combination of that was new to us.
Yeah.
And we had some youngsters on there. Like we had Keller, she was sophomore. And so I think we got outplayed a little bit. I truly thought if anybody was at that game, I thought we were going to turn the corner in that second set because we were right there with them. We had that hustle play where it went up on the backboard, came down, we scored it. I was like, all right, this is our set. And it just didn't fall. Volleyball gods and us, it just didn't fall our way. But the one thing we can take away from that is our first set was ugly. If people remember, it was like 25, 13, 11.
Yeah.
Bad. But we came back and competed, and we had a chance to compete and win, and it just didn't fall our way.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things out of that game that we want to keep addressing is like we had a lot of hitting errors down the stretch. I think we had probably 8 for sure in that last set, and we just couldn't put a ball away.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to being in those big pressure moments and having confidence in yourself. And I think we learned that. Like we talk about it, right? Don't be scared. Go up and put the ball down, whatever it is. But they got to feel that. Yep. And it was a lot being in your hometown with that crowd. And volleyball is a little different than basketball when there's so much extra communication happening in the gym and all the things. So I think it was definitely a combination of all of it. But we beat them in 5 earlier in the season, so you knew it was going to go either way. And I think if we would have played them again, we might win again, or they win again. So we just have to learn from that, reflect back a little bit, and just make sure we're growing from that end point for this season.
And you think that being in that situation, like you said, beating them in 5 and then getting to that situation, familiarity is really big in that. Like being in those scenarios. Is that and that's kind of the thing too. It's like, seeing these programs like if you just look from top to bottom, volleyball, football, track, basketball, wrestling, a lot of different success in a lot of different areas. This last season, shout out to Mr. Wademan as well as the rest of the coaches and everything. What's your you talk about the first tournament going to Huron. A lot of great teams, all East River, or most of them East River, good portion. What does that do from I know we talked about it from a little bit at the beginning, but when you get these out of the way like this, is it a good measuring stick? And what are some things that you take away from that?
It definitely is a great measuring stick. We also have to take in a grain of salt. It's everybody's opening weekend. So a lot's going to change by the time you play them again or whenever you see them. But it definitely helps see where everybody else is starting. Where are we compared to them? Like we've talked in the past, our hardest part is when we get into our Black Hills Conference stretch. So it's a bittersweet deal. I mean, there's some really good teams in the Black Hills Conference, but coming off of like your Watertown tone and you're here on like tone and speed and all that. And then we come back and play Hill City, which we haven't beat yet since I've been head coach. It's happening. So we kind of just have to play that mental game of fast, and our gym is fast right now. So it's a measuring stick, but it's also like, hey, we have to be prepared for a slower paced game coming at us.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's great I'd rather come out of the gates like that.
Yeah.
And like push you, because then they know what they have to get done in practice too.
Yep.
Without knowing. So it goes both ways, and I really like opening with the top AA schools that have really successful programs. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, like we said, Coach, really excited for the season and everything to see where things take you. Anything else you'd like to add?
We are in away season, so if people are wanting to watch, we'll look at our schedule because we don't have much at home.
Yep.
I think that this team is going to make a run that a lot of people have been waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Like last year we had ourselves there, and this year we can do the same and get to the state tournament and like keep opening the eyes to Spearfish as a whole of they're not just Spearfish anymore. Like as a whole, like you said, like the coaches, everything, it's kind of like, oh, we're playing Spearfish rather than we're playing Spearfish.
It's not a circled win anymore.
Yes, it's coming around, and that's kudos to the kids. It's kudos to our off-season lifting. It's all of us coaches, I think, kind of have the same culture-ish vision for what we want Spearfish to be. So just the biggest thing is come out and support, because we don't have that many home games. We're on the road quite a bit, and we'll just kind of see where everything takes us this year.
Does that, being on the road, what does that do from a mentality as well as a preparation standpoint?
We actually play a little better on the road sometimes, but we want a home season, right? You want to showcase yourself.
Yep.
But I think that was part of it is because we've been like home away. So last year when we were home, it was good. And then that home game, Sweet 16 game, was like, oh, we're usually walking into somebody else's house trying to like beat them. So just it's bittersweet. You want to like be at home just to showcase, but also like you learn to play on the road, and sometimes it's in your favor if you're not that top 8 seed or you're on the road for something big.
Gotcha.
So it goes back and forth, and it is what it is, and we just do what we have to do. So these girls have showed up. They had great off season. This year we're just gonna go step by step, because when it comes to the end, it's gonna be a tough thing to watch 10 seniors walk away.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good for the program too. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, like we said, thank you so much for joining us and everything.
Absolutely.
Good luck the rest of the season, and we'll look forward to catching up with you too.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
This production is brought to you by our sponsors: Legacy Custom Homes and Design, Black Mountain Painting, Spearfish Building Supply, Woods Heating and Cooling, Pioneer Properties, One Way Service Pros, The Bashful Bison, American Family Insurance Mariah Duvall Agency, Queen City Door, Signature Auto of the Black Hills, the Golf Club at Devil's Tower, the Clubhouse of Spearfish, Good Earth Natural Foods, McDonald's and Spearfish, I Love Spearfish, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, MJ Plumbing, and Northern Hills Golf Car.